Hi guys, James at Rampant Lion Reviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to return to Poland and continue on with the Polish Beer Month that I'm filming for you across May 2016. And this is a brewery who we've already visited a few videos ago, in fact. I tried the ambergris from these guys, which was a nice kind of smoked brown ale. But we're going to try one of the beers from their other range today. We're having a beer from the Łowickie range, I believe you pronounce it. Apologies if that's wrong, but this one is the Amber Ale, and it comes in at 4.3%, and it's got one of my favourite hops in it, which is the Amarillo hop. There should be some really nice orangey flavours in this one, but there seems to have been a few different versions of this beer. I bought this one in February 2016, so I'm reviewing that version for you. The version that's listed on Rate Beer is a 5% beer that has different hops in it, so just be aware there may be a few different versions of this beer, but I'm sure it will be good nonetheless. So this beer was bought from Paweł at Piwomaniak, really nice beer shop in the Warsaw, so if you do find yourself there, go and check it out. Very nice guy, big metalhead just like me, and he really knows his stuff when it comes to beer. So check out the link to the Facebook link to his shop in the description below, and I'm sure Paweł can point you in the direction of some very good Polish beers. But as always, I'll tell you a little bit about the brewery. If you want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual websites are in the description below. The brewery website, the link to my other Browar Bednary reviews. Hopefully I can add more to that in the near future. I'll maybe go back to Poland sometime soon, and there's all the usual social media, so do check those out. And if you want to see more beer reviews, do subscribe to the channel. To those of you watching in Poland, I apologise in advance for the bad Polish pronunciations, as many of you have told me your language is a little bit crazy, especially for non-native speakers, but please do get in touch and let me know some of the other Polish beers and breweries that you guys would like me to do, and especially let me know what your favourite Browar Bednary review beers are as well, and hopefully I can review those for you too. But anyway, let's talk about Browar Bednary. So these guys were founded back in 2014, and they're based in the Łowickie region in Poland, and it's located in a small village called Niborów, which is about halfway between Warsaw and Łódź. So the company founder is Rafał Lopuszyński, who's a long-time home brewer, and this brewery is quite interesting. As you've seen me say in many of my reviews, there's a load of contract brewers in Poland who brew at other people's facilities, but these guys apparently are the first full brewery facility established in Poland by a home brewer. So they've got 100% independence, and they do have their own facility too, but they've got a small setup of 5 hectolitres, and they offer on-site tastings and brewery tours as well, and their beers are now apparently widely available throughout Poland, so they're all over the place within Poland, but I've never seen them outside, of course, yet, so I'm sure we'll see that in the near future, because this brewery particularly seemed to be very highly rated. Paweł really said that he really enjoyed their stuff. But they do have a good range of beer as well. It's interesting this, since they've only been founded since 2014. So in the Łowickie range they have the Pale Ale, the American IPA, Foreign Extra Stout, this guy here, the Amber Ale, and the Oatmeal Ale. In their ale range they have the Sweet Boy, Stoutopia, and there's also a smoked version of that too, the Holy Grail, Orange Machine, Osteroidia, Ambergris, Yeti, and Stekina as well. And then their seasonal range, they've got the Ale Kaicho, the smoked ambergris, which is the one I reviewed for you, Citron, and also Bozy Antek as well. So they've got a good range of beers, especially when they're only brewing 5 hectolitres or something like that. To have that range of beers is impressive, especially after when they've only been founded for like a year and a half or 2 years, something like that. But I guess when you have a home brewer at the helm, that's to be expected. They'll have probably experimented, Rafał's probably experimented with his recipes quite a lot. But yeah, very interesting brewery, very highly rated by the Polish people. And of course the last beer I reviewed from these guys was really good, so we'll get stuck into this one and see how we get on. So this one is a 4.3% Amber Ale. It's hopped with Amarillo, Citra, Cascade, and Marinka hops. Marinka, of course, is a Polish hop, and there's a malt base of Pale Ale, Caramel, Vienna, and wheat malts as well. I really enjoy Vienna malts when they're in beers. So let me just bring up the camera and let you have a quick look at the artwork of this one. You can see nice kind of almost kaleidoscope pattern from this one with hop flowers and things and malt grains. Looks very, very nice, very nicely presented. All the ones in this Łowickie range, incidentally, are similar to this. They're just different colours. You can see on the side it tells you the actual makeup of the beer. It is in Polish, so I had to translate some of these words, but śmiel, I guess you would say, or kmiel, I'm not sure, that means hops, so you can tell Amarillo, Citra, Cascade, and Marinka. And the yeast one on this one is Saphala SO4. I forgot to mention that, but beer looks very nice. You can see plain bottle cap on this one, and you can see the rooster, the symbol for Browar Bednary as well. So this one should be really nice. best before the 14th of April 2016, but this beer review is filmed well in advance of that. It's the 9th of March today when I'm filming this one, so this beer is well in date. But let's get it out and get on with the tasting here. So, as you can see, a nice smoky opening on this one. Getting the crazy Facebook notifications on this. But yeah, as you can see, nice. It's actually a lot darker than I was thinking. I thought this would be a nice kind of bright orange colour, but it really is kind of, really is mahogany actually. Looks like a kind of mahogany coloured beer, this. Very, very attractive looking beer. I've never seen an amber ale quite that dark actually. You could almost, oh no, when you shine the light across it, it looks a bit more like a brown ale, to be honest with you. You can see there's a finger of a frothy, creamy beige head on this one. There's some big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass there. Looks very, very nice. There's a little bit of sediment actually visible in the bottom of this. I'm not sure how well you can see that. I see you can just see on the edge here. That's the colour of the beer when you put the light through it, but on the camera it does seem to look very dark. A little bit of sediment floating around. As I say, some big bubbles sticking to the side of the glass, but quite a few little ones going up towards the bottom of that head there. But I tell you something, the aroma on this beer is really nice. Without even sugaring it up, you can smell some of that nice orangey citrus. The citra hop is really coming out as well. You can smell these quite complex tropical fruits. There's a little bit of grapefruit there, of course, from the Cascade, but I think this is more about the Amarillo and the Citra in this one. You can really get those orangey notes. There's a little bit of a kind of, it's like not quite mango-y, maybe like lychees or something like this. Some of these more juicy tropical fruits, not quite peachy, but some of the more lighter sort of lychees, maybe a bit of passion fruit in there as well, I would say. You can pick out that. That's definitely the citra hop coming out. And when you sugar it up a bit more, you start to get more of the floral aromaticity. Of course, the Marinka hop that's in this, the Polish hops, do tend to be quite similar in aroma to the German noble hops, if you like. They do tend to have, but they tend to be a bit more floral, I've found. So you can smell some of the nice floral aromaticity from this beer. Underneath that, of course, there's some sweet caramel malts. A little bit toasted, actually. Some kind of biscuity, grainy character in there as well. It smells a little bit dusty. There's maybe a little bit of earthy hop character coming out of this beer too, but it's got a nice complex aroma. This is something you always want when you're doing craft beer reviews. You always want a little bit of a kind of complex beer when you're doing them, because it always makes you think about it a little bit. But there's some really nice notes to pick up in this aroma. Maybe a little bit of nutty character coming out too. But the malt base has some grainy biscuity sweetness to it, some nice caramel, a little bit toasted, like I say, some bready malts as well. But overall, it smells really nice. So I guess we should get stuck into this one now. So this is the Amber Ale in the Łowickie range from Browar Bednary in Poland. Na zdrowie. Quite a bit darker actually than I was thinking it would be. The malt base isn't quite what I was expecting. The hop flavours are what I was thinking they would be, but the malt base on this is quite a little bit different actually. We'll just get the rest of it into the glass there and let it settle down. But this is a good beer, there's no question about that. Looks very good. Yeah, this is quite interesting because it does seem to have, it's got the hoppiness of an American amber ale, but there's a little bit of English amber ale character to this one too. The malt base actually has a good bit of kind of roasted bready character to it. There's almost just a little bit of that roasted kind of bread crust character in the flavour of this beer. So the middle of your palate is just blanketed with this nice bready character. It just goes right across the middle of your tongue. And on top of that, there is a bit of a kind of roasted bread crust feel to this one, as I would say. There's a little bit of bitterness to the malt base. There's some sweet caramel in there too, like I was saying. Yeah. When you come nearer the front of the tongue, you can get more of the sweet caramel. There's a little bit of biscuity sweetness coming out of this beer too, I would say. But yeah, this is nice. Different from a lot of amber ales I've had before. Not quite as hop forward and sweet as an American amber ale, I would say. There's definitely a bit of an unusual quality to the malt base in this one. As I say, that dark kind of roasted character that's in there is very nice, but it certainly makes it quirky and stand out, I would say. Yeah, that's interesting. There's a little bit of a nutty flavour in this too. It comes out more in the aftertaste, but you can almost, the bready character that's in this beer comes across as almost like a German rye bread. And on top of that, you've got some of these kind of well-fired bread crust flavours in here too. Just pay attention to the malt base on that. That's where some of the really quirky character in this beer is. At the back corners of the palate, I'm picking up a little bit of earthy hop character. It's quite dark actually, but it goes quite well with that kind of roasted, bread crusty character that's in this beer. Yeah, this is nice. I have to admit, this is a very nice beer. Very unusual, and I always like it when you get beers like this on the channel, that they're a bit different from anything you've had before. And it's really, this is good. I'd love to try this on tap and just see what it's like on the tap as well. But yeah, on the hoppy side of things, there's a good floral aromaticity to this. You can pick up some of the orange characters coming out of this, but they start to get pushed aside fairly quickly. The earthy character, I can feel it just trying to push its way out at the back of the palate. There's some good floral aromaticity to this one. You can feel that on the sides of your palate as you come forward. Some nice kind of floral aromaticity, a little bit of smooth grassy character as you go around the front of the palate too, and the fruitiness just comes out, and this little oily bubble just behind that, as I always say. Yeah, so there's a bit of orangey character there, but that's pushed back a little bit. There is a bit of grapefruit in there as well, but I think the thing that lingers in the taste in this one is more the citra character. It's a little bit of a kind of lychee, maybe a bit of sort of passion fruit, but it's not quite that. This is more the lighter tropical fruits you're talking about. Maybe not quite limey, more of a sort of lychees kind of flavour, something like that. Yeah, definitely for me it's the citra hop and the sort of lighter esters of the citra hop that are coming out in this one with that fruit. You can feel that just behind the very front curve of the tongue. It's really nicely done actually. But all the flavours in this beer really mix together quite well. The one thing that's interesting about it as well is when it's got a dark malt base like this, I'm surprised that they've taken the alcohol content down from being 5% to 4.3, because a dark malt base like this could hide a little bit more alcohol and perhaps make the sweet caramel come out just a little bit more. So that would be quite interesting if they did put the alcohol content up a little bit. But overall, as it stands, it is really quite a nice beer and quite different from any of the other amber ales I've had before. So I'd recommend this to those of you who like a little bit of roasted character. This isn't like any amber ale I've had before, but I guess perhaps you could say that it finds a kind of middle ground between some of the kind of English amber ales that are more malty, and the dark, as I say, the dark kind of roasted bread crust character that you get in this one is what really makes it different from anything I've had before. There is a bit of cereal character, some caramelly sweetness. That is more of a trait of the English amber ale in my experience, but the hoppy character in this one really matches up with the American amber ale style. You can talk about styles all day, but the most important thing is that this is a really nice beer. In terms of the mouthfeel of this one, I'd say this is mid-bodied. It's got a good smooth carbonation to it. There's a little bit of oily character there as well. As I said, there's a bit of dryness from the malt base, but also some sweetness, a little bit of roasted character, some nice kind of hoppy bitterness to this beer as well that just lingers there. It's the earthy character that really lingers into the aftertaste. There's just a little bit of the fruitiness, but it's the earthiness and the kind of roasted characters a little bit, the bread crusty characters from the malt base that are lingering in this one for me. Some floral aromaticity as well, maybe a little bit of a nutty flavour in the middle of the palate too, but Not too prominent, I would say, but overall it's quite an interesting beer. There's a good bit of hoppy bitterness and some nice juicy character from it as well. So like I said, to summarise this beer review, this is really quite quirky, not like any amber ale I've had before, mainly because of the kind of roasted bread crust flavours that are in the middle. I'm used to amber ales being a bit sweeter than this one, just with the malt base is usually caramel, of course, but overall it's a nice and quite interesting beer. So I would recommend that you try this one for yourself and see what you think. But yeah, thanks again for watching my beer reviews. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Go and check out Browar Bednary. Let me know your own thoughts on this beer in the comment section below. And yeah, I hope you're enjoying the Polish Beer Month. We've got 2 videos left, sadly. Hopefully I can return to Poland and do some more beer reviews fairly soon. Slàinte just now, and I will catch you soon. Go and check out Pavel at Piwomaniak, but go and check out Browar Bednary. Cheers just now.